We will be looking at the strings, which are the most important part of the JavaScript to create any text or sentence. Okay, so we'll see the different ways in which we can create a string. So let's get into it. Yeah, so I'll be taking an example of mine. So let's create few variables. Let's keep it double quotes for now. Now first name, you can take my name, then job, you can take it as teacher, or instead of writing it in multiple lines we can write it this way as well. Okay, so it will use the const variable declaration for first name and job both, and we have set the default value for it as I have explained in one of the previous lectures. Okay, so now we can set the age as well. As 1995, let's say. Okay, so we have created three variables. Now we are going to create a string with these variables. Okay, so I just want to show you one more thing. If we use the single quotes, then in case you are writing something like I am or isn't or something like that, then make sure you are wrapping it in double quotes. Otherwise, what it will do, it will end your string here itself wherever it finds the first single quote. Let me show you again. If I am using single quotes, you can see it got ended up here itself. Okay, so make sure if you are using something like this, then you wrap it around the double quotes. Okay, and now we will join it with this plus symbol as we have discussed earlier. First name, and then we should take age first, and then okay, so let's see this in console log. What just now happened? And as you can see, if you are creating some large string, then it is a kind of painful thing to keep track of where the structure is proper or where it is not, where you have included the space and where you not. So in this case I have missed the space here, so I have to manually add it like this. And this is a syntax we used to use before ES6 template literals. Okay, so if you are writing some big string, then it is a kind of painful experience to write it in this way. So now let me show you the other way, which is ES6 way to write the strings. Let me write the text for it as well. And yeah, here if you notice, I have merged the strings together, okay? But in case of age, it is number, it will return number, right? So how we are merging a number with the characters? So this is something which is related to type coercion that we will be learning in the upcoming videos, okay? So for now, just keep in mind, like whatever you concatenate with a string, that value gets converted into string and gets concatenated. That means that gets joined with your string, okay? So in our case, that age variable's value, that is 28, got converted into string and got joined with the rest of the pieces of string, okay? Yeah. So now if we refresh it, a 28, okay, here also I forgot the space. Now it's proper. You can see like how painful it is to keep track of the structure of the string, right? So let me show you the easier way of doing it. So we will be taking another example, detail Raunak equals to, now in this case we will be using backticks. So in case you get the hard time to find backtick, then you can find it right above the tab key in your keyboard, okay? So this is the syntax of backtick, and now you will notice how easy and convenient it is to write or to frame a string like this. So in this case we don't need to worry about the single quotes or double quotes. We can write whatever we want. I am, and then if you want to inject a variable in this, then you need to use the dollar sign and then the curly braces, and you can write any JavaScript code in between this, okay? So let me show you an example of that as well. For example, 23 minus 1. So if I console log it, then let's see what happens. I am 22, okay? So we can literally write any JavaScript code in between these two curly braces, okay? So now we'll be using it to frame our sentence. First name, then space, or a okay. So now you can see the difference, like how difficult it was to create a string before ES6 and how convenient it is to create a string after ES6 template literals. Now let's see the console if it works the same, and indeed it works the exact same way but with more convenient syntax. Yeah, okay. So I wanted to show you one more thing which we can do easily in template literals, okay? So let me show you directly in console instead of creating multiple variables. So what we can do is, so before ES6 template literals, if you wanted to create a multi-line string, then this is how we write it. So I'm using single quotes, you can use double quotes, that doesn't matter. This, and then you need to use /n. So in most of the languages this particular syntax means a new line, okay? So in JavaScript you need to add an extra slash to make it work to create new line, okay? So now we can write our rest of the text. And then we can again use our syntax, and we are getting this error because I haven't used this at the last. Okay, so if I use this, then the error will be gone, as you can notice here. Okay, so we don't need this extra slash n, so I'm removing it from here. So let's see what happens now. Okay, now we got a multi-line string with this a little painful syntax. We have to use it everywhere, but we can write it in a much convenient way with the help of template literals. All we need to do is we just need to use the backticks, and we can remove all this, and you just need to, if you want to make it multi-line, you just need to hit return, and then whatever structure you want, it will create it for you. Okay, template literal multi-line string. Okay, let's see. Okay, so as you can notice, it created a multi-line comment same as earlier, but with a more convenient syntax. Alright, so now from the next lecture onwards, it's gonna be a little amazing because we will be start implementing the decisions, okay, like the if else conditions. So this is it for this lecture. See you in the next one.